Hey, thanks for checking in. I'm Bathtub Sir, and I'm currently in the tub with Rainswept. I think it's the opposite of Windswept, so I guess we're Rainswept and uninteresting. Now, this game was released on the 1st of February 2019, and it's priced at £9.29. However, there is currently a sale of a 15% reduction, and that brings it down to £7.89. That runs until the 8th of February. It's developed by a studio called Frostwood Interactive, and this game, Rainswept, is a murder mystery. We play as a detective on an adventure to solve the crime of a murder, a double homicide I think is the correct lingo for it. And basically, I think it's going to be a really charming, relaxing, beautiful to look at game, so I'm excited to get into it. I don't know if there's any controller support on this, so if I go here and then do that, okay, let's get into it. Monday, 12:14 AM. October the 7th, 1996. I was 5. Huh. God, he's going ever so fast. Oh yeah, ticking all the detective stereotype boxes already. What's the bet? And he's got a bottle of whiskey in that car as well. Digging the vibe already. I'm getting like a Twin Peaks feeling off this. Holy crap, what is that on his face? Is that a beard? So we're going to like small town America, maybe? Oh god, what torture! He loves cigarettes, but he can't ever smoke because he has no mouth. Rainswept. Monday, 7:35 AM. October the 7th, 1996. So about 7 hours later. God damn, it's really coming down. Hope I don't catch a cold again. Press E, enter, left mouse button to interact with objects. Okay, no controller support here. I'll have to move over to my clickety-clackety keyboard. Then use the arrow keys or the mouse to select further options. Okay. Yeah, I think I got that. We just move around and click to interact. Good stuff. So what's this? Oh, it's a car. Let's look at it. That's my car. Really? Prove it. What about this here? We can use it. Should we just drive away? I just got here. I'm not going back now. Okay, fine. God, can you imagine? Maybe there's a lady across the other side of the street and she's like, wow, who's that hot new detective in town? Look at him. He's so like stoic and handsome. God, I can't wait to get to know him a bit more. Wait a second. What's wrong with that walk? That's the unsexiest walk I've ever seen. Jesus Christ. These little chicken legs. Okay. Let's move along. That's the way inside. I wonder why Chief sent me all the way to Pine View for this case. Only one way to find out. Can I speak to this dude? Or can we speak to any witnesses? An open window. It wasn't open when he killed himself. Oh, we scribbled something in our notes. Okay, so it's worth to check out all the options. Ma'am, please, you need to back away a little. What's happened here? A murder? Johnny, get under the umbrella. Granny, I want to leave. It's really cold. Can we go back to the shop now? We could all see this coming a mile away. Ma'am, please. Granny, please. Alright, Johnny, let's go. There's no point standing here now. Yeah, get out of here, Granny. You don't even need that stick. I knew this would happen. We should have done something. There's nothing we could have done. Chris did this. I'm sure of it. Oh, it looks like that, doesn't it? Detective Stone, right? The chief is inside. They've been waiting for you. Use the mouse or number keys to select dialogue options. Okay. You need to control the crowd, officer. You need to push the crowd away from the scene, officer. What? You'd have to speak up. I can't hear you over the rain. The crowd. Handle them. There could be evidence out here. We can't have the crowd trampling all over the evidence. Oh, yes, I'm trying... Hey, Williams, what the hell are you doing? Trying to prop up this tape, sir. It won't stay. Well, get some sticks and drive them in. Yes, sir. Richard. Don't call for Richard. Richard's on leave. Do it yourself. Goodness. Sorry, detective. Thing is, we're short of manpower here. We weren't prepped for this kind of thing. First time in decades. And to top it off, it's goddamn rain. Just get the crowd under control. I'm headed inside. Yes, detective. Don't worry. Richard. I mean, Williams. What kind of fucking circus is this? What even was that interaction? They can't organise anything, these cops. Okay, let's just get in. Should I go in? No, yeah, go in. No point hanging around out here. Whoa! Okay. Oh, God. That's the sheriff. I should talk to him first. What one was the sheriff? The old man or the man next to him? I don't see like a sheriff badge. Not very professional. I hope they know what they're doing. He's a bit snobby, who we are. Oh, what? Michael? Do you see that in the top right? Huh? What? Detective, are you okay? I think so. Yeah. How embarrassing. Getting all the way sent out to some small town in America, acting like the big detective dog, and the first thing you do is fall over in front of him. Jesus Christ, that's the sort of thing that would keep you up at night. He's going to have nightmares about this. Guess I'm just a little tired after the long drive here. Okay, if you say so. Cuckoo. Detective Stone, right? The head office called in to say that you'd be joining us here for this investigation. I'm Sheriff Harris, and this is Officer Watts. Officer what? We appreciate the department sending help, but I don't think we'll need it. This case is ready to be wrapped up. What do we have here? The victims here are Christopher Green, age 26, died from a bullet wound to the head, looks self-inflicted. And Diane Miller, age 24, single bullet wound through the abdomen. The victims lived together, were unmarried. Okay. Any signs of an intruder? No false signs, or no signs of false entry. The door was locked from the inside when we arrived. An officer climbed through the open window here to open the door. There are no footprints outside that window. Except the officer's. He was careful. No signs of struggle or marks on the bodies either. What was the time of death? According to the next door neighbour, a single gunshot was heard around 0:15 hours. We received the call at about 0:20 hours and we were here in another 5 minutes. We found them dead upon arrival and confirmed the timing. Oh, I meant to do the third one. Anyway, any witnesses? Just the next door neighbour who claims to have heard a single gunshot. We can interview them shortly. What do we know about the weapon? Both shots were fired from a .38 caliber special revolver. The ballistics report will let us know more. Okay, thank you for your time there, Watts. Honestly speaking, detective, we think it's pretty obvious what's taken place here. What do you mean? They had a reputation. They weren't exactly a happy couple. The whole town knows this. Diane was shot at point blank range with Chris's gun, probably by Chris. He then went ahead and shot himself, as the wound is clearly self-inflicted. So you see, sending you here unnecessarily complicates things. Ooh, should we question their abilities? Yeah, why not? We're going to be the big dog. The big detective dog. And let me bark at you. I'm beginning to think it was a very good idea, in fact. It's obviously a case of murder-suicide, detective. So, we've got it all figured out here already, huh? If that was sarcasm, I'll ignore it. But yes, more or less. Are you suggesting there was domestic violence involved? It would seem so. It was never reported, but that doesn't mean it didn't happen. So, rumours. You may call it that, but where there's smoke, there's fire. I'm not sure of that. And they were never really able to fit in this town. They were new here, moved in about 6 months ago. Never got out much, didn't make any friends. We don't need to analyse the obvious, detective. That would only be inefficient. This is Officer Blunt. She will assist you through the course of your work here. Hell yeah. Officer Blunt, what's going on? 420, blaze it. Hello, Detective. And, one more thing. We're looking to wrap this case up quickly and cleanly. We don't want to drag it out if that can be helped. We have an important festival coming around in a week's time. So you might say this is, rather bad timing. Yeah, because it's always a good time for a double homicide. So there's no need to go around complicating things, alright? Just get me a story that works and we can close this case quickly. Sarcastic reply, yes indeed. Yeah, sure. Can't wait to wrap this case up. Yeah. Alright then, I'll see you soon. Goodbye. Okay then. Anyway, have a look around the room if you'd like. Come talk to me when you're done. What should we look at? Look at this, straight away. Chris has scribbled. Oh, can we speak to, Blunt? I'll do it in a minute. What's this? It's signed Chris, 96. I'm guessing Chris built some of the furniture around this house. Really? He didn't do a very good job. This is like a horrible kitchen, so bright and assaulting on the senses. Okay, the music's getting pretty crazy. Let's have a look at the gun here. A 38 caliber special, as Officer Watts said. It looks pretty old. It can hold 6 rounds. It's a revolver, so it wouldn't have ejected the shell casings. They should still be in the barrel. Yeah, open that barrel up. There are 3 unused rounds still in here, and 3 spent shell casings. Ooh, so we don't know where one of the bullets has gone. This means 3 rounds were fired from this gun at some point of time. If 2 were fired last night, where's the 3rd? Or was it shot last night or on some other day? The gun belonged to Chris, according to Officer Watts. Let's assume Chris or Diane weren't the ones to use it. Is there anyone else that could have known where they kept the gun? From Pineview? I really doubt it. Remember, no signs of forced entry. Could it be someone they were comfortable with or trusted? No one I can think of. Sorry, I mean, I am enjoying this, but the music, the like Berlin club-esque music in the background is kind of taking me out of it. Next that should be like a cyberpunk game or something. And why haven't we really said anything to our new partner? Okay, let's look at the shelf. 38 special rounds. It's a box of 50. There are 44 here, which means 6 are missing. 2 were used last night. Jesus Christ, this is the most convoluted maths question I've ever read. There are 3 still loaded in the gun, as we saw earlier. If 2 were shot last night, there's still 1 unaccounted for. Was that shot last night too, or on some other day? And there's wine here. Red wine. It looks like a new bottle was opened yesterday. No one drank from this glass. It would seem that Chris was sitting by himself at the table and drinking wine, waiting for someone to join him. Probably Diane? Whether he was waiting for her or someone else, we don't know yet. A glass of wine was knocked over. This looks like wine, but there seems to be blood in here as well. I mean, wine and blood isn't to everyone's taste, but I'm sure it has its advocates. How did blood spatter in this direction? It doesn't make any sense. Those drops of blood flew out of place too. Yeah, 3 little plops of blood. What would they be doing there? Officer Blunt, I think there's been more than the 2 gunshots that we're seeing here. Really? Let's have a look at dead old Chris. Bullet wound to the head. The skull is badly damaged. Most of the sides have been blown off. And do you reckon he'll be okay, Detective? His body position and the way he fell would indicate that he was sitting sideways on the chair, facing where Diane's body is now. The angle of the shot indicates that he was shot from this side. If someone shot him, they were standing in front of the refrigerator. No clues there though. He could have been shot from that window. At the moment it's shut, must get it checked for fingerprints and footprints outside. Could someone have entered and left through here? We should have the fingerprint results in a couple of days, Detective. Don't forget, there aren't any footprints outside. If someone shot him from outside, then Chris would have sat facing the refrigerator. That would make sense. That way, the killer wouldn't need to enter the house. But in that case, who shot Diane? Gunpowder residue on his right hand? Hard to disagree with Officer Watts here. This is strong evidence for the victim shooting himself. Unless it was made to look that way. This chair's fallen on its back. Looks like Chris fell off the chair before or after being shot. Very interesting. What could it all mean? Let's go and look at poor old Diane. Are you alright there, Diane? You've got an expression of shock on your face because you've been shot in the gut. Gunshot to the stomach. The damage and the residue would suggest the shot was taken at point blank range. That rules out the possibility of her being shot from the open window. She would have been in line of sight from the outside though. There's no mistaking it. The perpetrator would have to be inside the house to cause this kind of wound. Whether that was Chris or someone else, it's hard to say at the moment. I think that's everything. You've got to remember the neighbour only heard one gunshot as well, which is kind of weird. We done here? Yes, we are. Alright, let's have a chat with Mr. Willis outside. The rain has finally let up. Oh, good. I had a horrible feeling that it was going to rain the whole game. It would be like the movie 7, but hopefully with no head in the box. Oh, did you bring coffee, Blunt? Awesome. Thank you. It's very kind of you. Right, this is Mr. Willis. He lives right there, next door. Coffee, detective? Yes, please. You can ask him any questions you may have about last night. Right, Mr. Willis. Can you tell me everything that you saw or heard during last night's events? Well, see, I'd headed off to bed at around 11 PM, as I usually do, after a glass of whiskey. Helps me sleep, you know. Anyway, somewhere around 12:15 AM, I'd say, I was woken up by a loud bang. I ran to my bedroom window. That looked straight down at their place. And what did you see? Nothing. Their kitchen lights are on, but that's about it. I went to my phone and called Officer Watts here straight away. Okay, how long did it take you to get to the window? Once you heard the shot. About a couple of seconds, detective. Not more than 5, I'd say. I nearly fell out my bed when I heard that shot, so you might say. I was halfway there already. Did you see any sort of activity on the street? Anything unusual? No, detective. Everything was exactly the same as always. You said you heard a single shot? Yes, the whiskey usually knocks me out pretty good, so if there'd been more, I didn't hear them. Do you live alone, Mr. Willis? Yes, I do. Never got married. It's a long story. One meant to be talked over a couple of whiskies. Know what I mean? Can you confirm your whereabouts? No. I was just at home, you see. Am I a suspect? It's procedure, Mr. I know Mr. Willis. He's cool. What should we do here? 1 or 2? I mean, I'm just going to call out everyone. Like I said, we're the big detective dog. Woof. We'll need to have a talk later, officer. Talk about what? Just later, okay? Okay, Sherlock. Whatever you say, Holmes. Did Chris and Diane have many visitors? Friends, etc.? No, not at all, in fact. In all this time, I only maybe saw Jack coming over to fix their car. No, people rarely ever visited them because they mostly kept to themselves, see? Never made any friends here. But sometimes folks don't like those kind either, so I can't really say. Know what I mean? No, please elaborate. You won't find anyone crying over their deaths here. Nobody really knew them. They never got out much. Is there anything else you'd like to share with us, Mr. Willis? I don't know if this is useful, but you might have heard about Chris and Diana. They looked pretty happy when they first moved in. More recently, though, I heard Diane crying a couple of times, usually late at night. See, the whiskey knocks me out. How many times do you want to bring up the damn whiskey, man? Anyway, it knocks me out early, so maybe that's why I never heard all this before. But a couple of times, I was up a little later. One night, about a month ago, I heard pretty bad things. There were some loud sounds, like stuff being flung around and such, see? I heard someone crying. I was thinking to myself that maybe I should call the police, but then I have another whiskey and I fell asleep. Oh, sorry, it quieted down all of a sudden. We never received any calls for domestic violence, but people have often talked of stories of this kind. Can you remember when you heard this, Mr. Willis? Well, I was up late night. Up late at night. There we go. Writing an important letter. I think it must have been somewhere between the 1st and the 3rd last month. 1st of the 3rd September. Alright. Anything else? No, that's all I know about this. Right. Thanks for your help, Mr. Willis. We'll be in touch if we need anything else. No problem. And thanks for the coffee. No whiskey in it. So, Detective, you said you wanted to have a talk later. Is now a good time? Yes, officer. Please don't tell witnesses they're not under suspicion. Especially not in front of them. So basically, you're telling me that I don't know how to do my job. Is that it? What I'm saying is, this case isn't all wrapped up as you'd like to believe. How can you not see what's right in front of you? It's so obvious. Mr. Willis didn't see anything outside the house after the gunshots, and there are no signs of anyone forcing entry either. On top of that, considering how rough things were between the two of them, you heard what Mr. Willis said, right? That doesn't prove anything. The state of their relationship could be relevant, or it might have nothing to do with the case. We still need evidence to prove it either way. As for not spotting anyone outside the house, we can't just rely on one witness for the complete picture. A witness that was half asleep, I should add. Well, what about the door, huh? How was it locked from the inside? Explain that. I checked the door. It locks itself from the inside when you pull it close. Whether you pull it from the outside or push it from the inside. I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm just saying that there's no conclusive evidence yet. Well, fine then. Dig as deep as you'd like, Detective. You won't find anything new here. I was perfectly capable of handling this case myself, but of course the head department had to complicate things. In any case, Sheriff Harris will probably want to wrap up this case before the festival, so don't expect him to wait for more than a week. I have to head to the station now. Officer, escort Detective Stone to his hotel. Will do, sir. Oh, tensions are a bit rough with them two, aren't they? We'll come back in the evening to search the house. Letters, diaries, things of that sort. Alright. When can we expect the autopsy results? Day after tomorrow, according to the coroner. But I'll confirm and let you know. I'm guessing there were more than 2 bullets shot last night. We should take another look around the kitchen to make sure. 3 bullets? But... Huh. We're actually glad that you're here, you know. Although the sheriff and Officer Watts would rather not admit it. Even to themselves. This is like the first murder here in the last 100 years or so. We have no idea how to deal with it. I mean... It's alright. I know what you mean. I just joined the force a month back, for instance. And a murder already. I'm not sure if I'm ready. I kind of knew them, you could say. I've never known anyone that's been murdered before, you know? It's kind of weird. A bit sad. I know as an officer I'm not supposed to feel that way and all... You'll be fine. Give it time. Thanks, Detective. Let's end the dialogue, because I just want to see if there's anything more to this game after we get to the hotel. I'm hoping the local police will let me do the job I've been sent to do, though. I don't mean you. I know what you mean. Honestly speaking, Sheriff Harris is an arsehole. I'm serious. He doesn't care about anything except running off home and taking it easy. This case probably ruined his plans to relax and enjoy the festival week. I hate people like that. Officer Watts, though, he's really sweet. I know he comes across as a little obnoxious, but... Oh my god! Okay, so there is a bit more to this. I saw her. She was right there. Why am I seeing her? Why am I thinking of her? Uh-oh, what's wrong with you, Detective Stone? And we will never find out, unfortunately, because even though that was quite an interesting moment, I think I'm going to leave it there. I think it was an interesting game. I don't really know how this is going to come across in a video, but it's obvious to see this game is very sort of a lot of reading, a lot of slow paced and stuff like that. But it's quite interesting. I've got to admit, I love his stupid little legs. But a lot of characters to play. It's fairly well written. I'm excited to see what could happen. So I do recommend it if you're into this sort of thing. It's a shame we didn't get to see a bit more of it. Obviously, that first investigation took up a bit of time, but it's all for setting the story, and that's sort of maybe a bit of a downside of doing these in the tub with the first 30 minutes. Sometimes you don't get to see the games in full flow, but it's okay. We're getting snippets of what's in store. Maybe Detective Stone's damaged mental health and some past trauma in his life is coming into the fray now. Who knows? But yeah, I did enjoy this. So if you enjoyed this video, of Rainswept. Please go ahead and leave a like, it does help me out a great deal, and I really do appreciate it, so thank you. If you want to see more, we do In the Tub With every Monday. We also do Let's Plays on the channel, and we live stream 3 times a week. So there is tons here for you. I would love it if you could subscribe and I can bring it all to you. If you've got any questions you want to raise, have you played this yet? Let me know in the comments below. If you think you know who did the murder already, please let me know in the comments below, and I'll make sure I get back to you. Alright? See you!